Hello guys, so here are my tips, tricks and advice so that whilst you're outside adventuring, exploring, hiking, trekking, segwaying, mountain biking, whatever the activity you're doing, you can not only stay safe but also have some fun. Now primarily this film will be focused around hiking and trekking, and I live in the Middle East, so invariably the weather is going to be hot and dry. However, there's a lot of information I'm going to give you that transfers across all those activities that I just mentioned. Now, straight off the bat, let me tell you, I've suffered whilst out hiking and trekking, and also on other adventurous activities and exploring. I've been sunburned, I've been lost, I've been tired, I've been frustrated, I've been injured. And I tell you something, it's not pleasant. It makes the day, the weekend, the week, unbearable. It's unforgivable, because invariably, whatever the incident, I dare say there was some sort of intervention, some sort of thing that you could have done to prevent it in the first place. And that's why these tips, tricks and advice that I'm going to tell you will enable you to have that fun and safe day and successful day out exploring. Right then, first and foremost, I always advise never ever go out on your own unless you have no alternative. There are several reasons why. One, it's more sociable, but then again, you might be a little bit of an introvert like me and quite enjoy your own company. But also, there is the safety aspect. Should something go wrong, you've got that safety net to help you there. Needless to say, if you do go hiking on your own, that's fine, but make sure somebody knows your full itinerary, where you're going, and importantly, when you're due back. Whether you're walking individually or in a group, whilst you're out hiking and trekking, maintain as much as you can a steady pace, a nice even rhythm. All right, not too fast to start off with in the morning, of course, or whenever you start the hike or trek, but keep that steady rhythm. Moving too fast, well, you're simply going to get tired quicker. That's all that's going to happen. The distance is the same. Be efficient as you go round. Moving too slow, well, again, that has problems. Maybe you're going to run out of time. What about if you are in a group and you're slowing that group down? Or worse still, you get separated from the group. Okay, so make sure you are hiking or trekking with people of similar abilities, and also try to stay as a group and maintain that even pace throughout. Also, whilst you're up on the mountain or out on some sort of trail, try to, as much as possible. Now, I know we're all having fun and we want to jump around and climb on rocks and take those Instagram photos, but try as much as possible not to do too much that might injure you. Believe you me, I've seen it happen. I've seen people just climb on a rock, wanting to take that perfect photo, have a little look at what more there might be, and then end up with some sort of injury, and the day is significantly affected. Maintain a safe distance between you and your walking partners, especially on the steep uphill bits and downhill bits. There are several reasons why. Rock falls, if you were to fall, you might have an adverse effect on somebody close to you. So keep a safe distance between hikers and trekkers whilst you're out moving on the mountain. On the flat, it's not so bad. Bunch up and have a nice chat. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Plan your day properly. Have you got a map? Do you know where you're going? Where's the trailhead? Where does the trail start? Where does it finish? How long does it take? What clothing do you need? What about hydration? What about food? Plan your day properly. How long does it take to get to the trail? How long does it take to get home? All of this is essential information that is all part of your planning process. Also be aware of not only where the trail starts, but where it finishes. This might be in a different location. A lot of trails are out and back, start and finish at the same place, but equally so many don't. So this has to be factored into your planning. Okay, I mentioned clothing. It should be loose fitting. It should be comfortable. It should fit you correctly, and it should cover more or less the entirety of your body and protect you from the sun. Wear a hat. Also in the equipment you take a whistle, a torch and a first aid kit. They're only small. Remember, it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. In my rucksack, I've always got a few essential pieces of equipment just in case. Right, on deciding what adventurous activity you're going to do, what hike or what trek, Set yourself realistic targets. If you're not ready to climb Mount Everest, don't do it. There are hiking trails and routes for people and groups of all abilities. Okay, decide on your route realistically, taking into account everybody in your walking group, namely the weakest. Don't be afraid to adapt your plan. If it's a good idea to change your plan, change it. Don't be too rigid. Maybe the weather has changed. Maybe somebody's injured. Maybe somebody's tired. Maybe you're not feeling up to it. You're not 100%. Don't be afraid to adapt your plans accordingly. Also, do not be a hero out there. There is absolutely nothing to be gained and everything to be lost. Don't be afraid to cancel the day's activity. If it's not right, do not do it, and look forward to doing that activity again sometime in the near future. Even once you've started the walk, don't be afraid. There's absolutely no shame in it whatsoever. Change your plans accordingly, even if this means going home. If whilst you're walking up the hiking trail, the trail is in a state of disrepair, it's broken, there's water damage, rocks, trees, whatever there might be. If the trail looks dangerous, do not think that maybe pushing on, climbing over those dangerous things is a good idea and assuming the trail will get better further up the mountain or along the trail. This might not be the case. You may well be walking yourself into danger. All right, so just turn around, go home if it becomes too dangerous. Dehydration is one of the biggest causes of problems here on the mountains in the Middle East. I cannot underestimate, I cannot understate how important it is to stay hydrated. Take sufficient water, put it in water bottles in your rucksack, put it in a hydration bladder in your rucksack, and drink little and often. This is a non-negotiable. Take enough water with you. And remember, even in the winter, it's still hot. So don't think because it's only 30 degrees, I don't need water. Take it with you. As to how much water you should take, well, that depends upon you. What I would suggest is take more and not use it. Also, my advice is do not drink from streams, wells, fountains, natural fonts, unless you absolutely, reservoirs, do not drink from reservoirs or rivers, unless you can absolutely guarantee the cleanliness of that water. Make sure you take the water with you from home. Food should be easily digestible. It should be high in energy. I love taking dried fruit, and I find this gets me around a 3 or 4 hour hike quite easily. But you take what you feel comfortable with. Cover your head and apply sunscreen. No matter where you're from in this world, the sun's rays are very, very harmful. Covering your head provides shade for the most important part of your body. Okay, your brain, you need to look after it. Keep it cool. And also remember that the sun is stronger at higher altitudes, so take particular care and attention when climbing at altitude to protect yourself from the sun. Be prepared for changes in weather, especially at altitude. Whilst hiking at altitude, you might find that the winds are much stronger, and these strong winds can change the weather quickly. Remember, at night it can get very cold here, even in the Middle East. Okay, so be careful about the weather. Don't rely on your mobile phone whilst out hiking and trekking. They are part of everyday life, but coverage, cell phone coverage in the mountains is patchy. Be aware though of all the emergency numbers, the 911, 992, 999, whatever the emergency number is in the area that you are hiking or trekking, be aware of it. If you do have an emergency, use that whistle and start blowing it. Also, if it's getting dark, turn your torch on and start flashing it. Wherever you might be hiking or trekking, whether it's a mountain, a valley, a beach, whatever the location, it may well have its own ecosystem. It certainly will have its own flora and fauna. It will have its own animals and flowers. Respect wherever you are hiking. This, once again, is a non-negotiable. Do not disturb the natural environment. Do not move rocks. Do not break branches off trees because you think they're in the way. Do not kick yourself a new route because you prefer that way. Do not cut flowers. Respect where you're walking. Once again, non-negotiable. Don't light fires or throw cigarette butts on the floor whilst out hiking or trekking. I don't know why you would throw a cigarette butt on the floor anywhere, but more so in the beautiful areas that you hike and trek. Only have barbecues in permitted areas. Once again, respect the environment. There is an expression, take only memories, leave only footprints. Do not leave any rubbish behind. Do not pour any liquids into streams or into reservoirs. Even your organic waste, the banana skin, the orange peel, that takes time to decompose. So once again, think about what you do with your rubbish. Take it home and put it in a bin, or better still, recycle it or reuse it. If your hike is along a trail, stay on the trail. Do not walk off trail, because this might start creating new trails which people might think are part of the original trail and get them lost. Please do not erode the mountainside or the area you're hiking in. Stay on the trail. I love dogs as much as any other dog lover in the world, but I'm going to give you this advice. Do not let your dog off the leash whilst out hiking or trekking. And also, I'm sure you wouldn't, but don't forget that your dog needs to eat and drink whilst out on the hike or trek. Go to the toilet before you start your hike or trek, especially for number twos. What on earth are you thinking if you think it's okay? I'm just going to go to the toilet up on the mountainside. Come on. Whilst resting on the mountain, especially on the way up, point your toes down the mountain. This will help you relax. It will take the pressure off your calves and feel much, much, much more comfortable. Also, when descending, you will thank me for this advice. Make sure the day before you go hiking, cut your toenails. Believe you me, it's good advice. Now, this film seems to have been a film about don't do this, don't do that, make sure you do that. If you don't do this, this will happen. The most important thing when you go on a hike or a trek is to have fun. So this film is just there to serve, to give you some advice, some tips, some tricks to ensure that you have a fun and safe day on the mountain. If you've got any practical advice that I haven't mentioned in this film that you want to tell others about, hit me in the comments below, and I'd love to hear your tips, tricks and advice for safe and fun and enjoyable hiking and trekking. Many thanks for watching this film, and I hope in some way it helps to ensure that you have a fun and safe hike or trek. Take care everybody, see you soon. The English Explorer.